Well, all good things must come to an end. Hi, I'm Dan Kingerski for Pittsburgh Hockey Now and Pittsburgh Sports Live. The Penguins' run of fantastic hockey came to an end on Saturday afternoon as the St. Louis Blues beat the Penguins 5-1 here at PPG Paints Arena. It really was decided in the first, let's call it 10 minutes of the first period and the first 5 minutes of the second period. In the first period, the Blues came out aggressive. Their defensemen put their heels on the red line. The Penguins, every breakout, every puck was contested. They didn't have the space to get any speed going, and St. Louis capitalized with that very gritty, rugged sort of game. The Penguins defensemen were really pinned into their own zone as the Penguins forwards forgot about the last 100 feet of the ice. That transition game we've watched the Penguins play over the last several games, especially against Boston and Washington, was short on Saturday. The forwards didn't come all the way back into the zone, and thus St. Louis was able to pin the Penguins deep. That is takeaway number one. Takeaway number two, really, it was a bit of an emotional letdown on Saturday. You can't continue the pace that the Penguins were on, both with Boston and Washington on Tuesday. The Penguins were a little bit fortunate Thursday night as Buffalo didn't put up much of a fight after the first few minutes of the game. Buffalo went meekly. St. Louis most certainly did not. St. Louis needed those 2 points after having lost the last couple, and St. Louis is in a dogfight in the Western Conference. The Penguins, having built a 6-point lead, not as much. And the third takeaway, sometimes it's just a bad day. You saw Penguins defenseman Brian Dumoulin have one of his uncharacteristic poor games on Saturday. He was walked around by less than fleet-footed Pat Maroon on one occasion, and Ivan Barbashev on another occasion. Dumoulin really had trouble getting the motor going. Otherwise, I thought the Penguins turned it on at the start of the second period and again throughout the remainder of the second period, but a couple defensive gaffes again. The Penguins gave themselves or put themselves in a 4-goal hole, and that's almost impossible to climb out of. Doesn't matter how well you play. For the last 30 minutes, 4 goals is a pretty steep mountain to climb. On the positive side, the Penguins really did generate some offensive pressure finally. The Crosby line, and Sidney Crosby, make no mistake, we gave him a B. Maybe should have given him a B- in the post-game report card, because a couple of the goals were on the Crosby line, and in particular the Vince Dunn goal, the second goal of the St. Louis attack, was kind of on Crosby and or Jake Gensel. Gensel didn't do enough along the wall to break up the centering pass, and Crosby was a bit slow back to the zone to deny Dunn the scoring chance. You could see Crosby kind of look to the sky and a little bit of disgust. From that moment, Crosby and company were very good, but the damage was already done. So we'll take a look at Sunday. Erik Gudbranson, we asked him if there was any carryover from the mid-February game in which Olli Maatta was injured and the Stadium Series game in which both Brian Dumoulin and Chris Letang were injured. Gudbranson says, I don't know. We'll see. So tune in tomorrow night at PPG Paints Arena. Gudbranson is really becoming, I think, a fast inclusion in this Penguins core. From PPG Paints Arena, I'm Dan Kingerski for Pittsburgh Hockey Now.